production of cocoa, inheriting nearly 1 million tons of Ghana, producing 1 million tons of cocoa. As we speak, as the campaign is about to be launched, we're at 600,000. A drop of about 400,000 tonnage of cocoa production by Ghana. What happened?
Several factors. And this is where, once again, we become victims of our own success. But there again, for those who are interested in comparison, check the graphs. The graphs are largely in favor of higher production under the NDC administration.
This NDC administration?
Yes, as compared to the MPP administration.
You mean general for the last 20 years?
But I'm not here for these kinds of
No, I'm just talking
comparisons.
about, Doc, you inherited 1 million tons of cocoa. Now we are doing 600.
We didn't inherit.
Nearly 1 million, not up to a million.
We didn't inherit 1 million tons. The 1 million tons was under the NDC administration.
Okay, you recorded it. Okay.
Yes.
But that was in 2009. So we can't attribute that to you.
Wait. Now I come to the factors. You know how...
Why have we dropped?
You know, yes, I'm coming to that. You know how young cocoa farms can produce better yields per acreage than old and dying cocoa farms.
Yes.
Just like human beings.
The so-called gestation period.
Yes, as we age.
So what has happened? Our trees are older.
They are older.
We stopped planting.
But what are we doing? We are putting in place an intervention. This is the difference between President Mohammed's administration and others. When we identify the challenges, we resolve them. And that is why...
But shouldn't you be anticipating the challenges?
Yes.
Rather than identifying them?
So it takes minimum of 3 years, the gestational period for cocoa to mature and begin to fruit. Okay?
Yes.
So between the period of 2014 and 2015 cocoa season, President Mohammed's administration ensured the distribution of 50 million free cocoa seedlings to replace dead and dying cocoa trees so that we will have younger cocoa farms to increase productivity. 2015-2016 cocoa season, we are distributing 60 million. So in a matter of 2 cocoa seasons, 110 million cocoa seedlings being distributed at no cost to the existing farmers and young farmers who are also joining the
So the point you're making is that cocoa has an agricultural cycle.
Yes, it has.
And so whichever country that you are,
over
you produce,
a period.
and then you lose and you produce.
Over
but
a period.
Côte d'Ivoire has been leading for 20 years.
There again, there's a distinction.
What's it?
Check the character of the cocoa industry in La Côte d'Ivoire. They are largely commercial farms. In Ghana, it is you and I, our grandparents, who are the farmers, our parents and all. That's the difference between La Côte d'Ivoire cocoa farms and the cocoa farms that we have in Ghana. But should we adopt theirs? If you did, you are going to have a situation where you are going to clear a lot of our people who are dependent on cocoa in terms of their livelihoods.
You mean we can't commercialize them in cooperatives?
What that means is that we need to do a combination of commercialization and then those who are also having their relatively smaller cocoa farms. And so there again, if you want to make a comparison between Ivory Coast and Ghana, and you don't look at the architecture of the cocoa industry in Ivory Coast, you'll get it wrong. And that is how come in Ghana here, you hear about free cocoa spraying, free distribution of fertilizer and all. In Ivory Coast, it is largely the case that because they are commercial farms, they themselves will even go and procure the inputs.
Before we take the break, let's talk some politics from the through the eyes of the experts. And you were quoting Issa and all of that, which is creditable for you, a politician, not quoting from your own sources. The Economist Intelligence Unit twice this year has predicted that President Mahama will lose the elections.
Not complete. You are not quoting them fully.
This is the headline of their publication, even though they give some details. But the headline is that
exactly. But the Economic Intelligence Unit must understand that Ghanaians reward hard work. Ghanaians know the government that has worked for the prospects that their own report indicated were bright to be possible. And Ghanaians will not, I believe, change horses in the middle of the river when they know this is the particular horse, not an elephant. This is the particular horse with an umbrella that has ensured that going forward, our GDP is going to be 8% plus, and then the subsequent year, 7.5% plus. This is the horse with the umbrella that has also ensured that going forward, latest by 2018, we are going to have additional 6,000 hospital beds added to our stock. This is the government that is ensuring that 110 million cocoa seedlings are being distributed at no cost to the farmers to replace dead and dying cocoa trees. This is the government that is ensuring that from now till 2018, we are going to increase our gas production up to 300 million standard cubic feet. This is the government that is ensuring that all these things will deliver jobs, more jobs to the people. This is the government that is ensuring that the tile factory that I spoke to you about is being put in place. This is the government that is ensuring that the fish processing factory at Elmina is also being put in place. There is a government that has ensured that the Savannah Cement Factory.
I need to take a break now. Let me take a break. Omane Boamah is the government's Minister of Communication, so you understand that he's still at work. He didn't close at 5. He's still here working for the government. Honorable Minister of Communication, this conversation will be incomplete if we don't ask you about the latest, hottest story under your watch, under your ministry. 3 of our radio presenters and journalists are in prison right now for comments they made on radio prejudicial to the Supreme Court. Petitions are being signed, everything is going on. Article 72 is being talked about, being invoked. Council of State now have the matter. What was your own personal feeling about this matter, given as you are Minister of Communication?
Randy, I felt very sad that that was the outcome. But we live in a law-governing society. Nobody will say that what the 3 gentlemen said should even be repeated. But the fact remains that the punishment was harsh. I have visited them in prison, and that was 2 clear days after they were sentenced to prison. I'm in touch with their significant others who are out, and it is important that we dissociate all forms of politics, personal interest from this, and look at implications for press freedom. It was ironic.
Freedom to do what?
It was ironic that it was in July 2001 that the criminal libel law was repealed. And the criminal libel law basically was ensuring that journalists were being imprisoned and all. Nobody is saying that irresponsible press must be encouraged. But particularly as the 3 gentlemen demonstrated considerable remorse, one would have expected a commensurate.
What kind of sentence would have been
punishment? I don't want to go into the prescriptions, particularly as I speak for His Excellency the President, and he has received a petition and has ensured the transmission of the petition to the Council of State. And the Council of State will be looking at it and provide a befitting advice to the President. We are also in the know that Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndom has also begun a process where people are also signing a petition. We wish him well. We believe that maybe along the line, if he also finds it necessary to submit his petition to the President will also take appropriate
Ivor Greenstreet made comments about that today. He said the President's political career will be doomed if he were to accede to the request of the petitioners and invoke Article 72 to pardon these gentlemen?
That is to say that if the president acted according to law, it is inimical to his political career. President Mohammed's political career, inshallah, by the grace of God, with the support of the sovereign people of Ghana, as president, will be terminated on January 6, 2021.
2021.
Yes.
Okay.
So
really, this is his last campaign.
Really, this is
that's interesting.
This is the president's last
final campaign,
which will secure him his second and final term.